Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Rahul, co-founder and CEO at Superscript. So, what on earth is Superscript? What do we do? We are a group of people with a single burning belief about the healthcare industry. Healthcare is a consumer-facing category, and we will stop at nothing until healthcare can function like a consumer-facing category, the way every other consumer-facing category does. Which is to say, think about the way that we all move through the world today, whether you are buying an airplane ticket, getting a sandwich from Uber Eats, buying a TV. It's the same thing. You take out your phone, you go to a website, you see a price, you click a buy button, and that very simple motion is what allows the category to move. It's what allows patients, consumers, to vote with their feet, vote with their dollars, and it's what allows the supply side, the physicians, medical groups, health systems, etc., to really understand what the patient side is looking for, asking for, and then respond accordingly. So when Superscript looked at healthcare and we saw, okay, well, there is no consumer-facing motion. Um, Clearly, that's not going to stay that way. Clearly, that has to be fixed. Well, let's do it. So how do we do that? Well, our point of intervention is quite simple. You cannot have a consumer motion in healthcare without price. Now, price in every other category is really simple. You take out your credit card, you swipe it, and the number that shows up on your statement, that was the price. In healthcare, as we know, a price is a story, and it's typically a story that arrives 6 weeks after the event happened. So we spent about 3 years in R&D before we said anything to anyone, building a tech stack that we call Healthcare's First Pricing Protocol. And the job of the pricing protocol is to make the first prices in the market because healthcare has to be as simple. Swipe your card on the price that we show you, you're done. There will be no story. There will be no bill after the fact. So, of course, in industry, I'm referring to the patient cost share. Our technology makes a guaranteed patient cost share before the service in all cases and across every single insurance plan. In order to do this under the hood, we're doing a bunch of claims analysis at the practice level. And then we're also doing a bunch of insurance plan analysis. And we're very grateful to Steady because they are the best in the game at providing that insurance eligibility information. And so we're very happy to partner with them. So, pricing protocol, that's what we do. Upfront patient cost shares because the industry needs price. Let me hop into a demo. I'm going to show you two experiences now. One, how we bring prices to life on the consumer side, the patient side, and then two, what it looks like for a healthcare admin. So let's say that you are in New York City and you want to go to MedRite, a fantastic urgent care chain. So you go to MedRite's website, you scroll down and you say, okay, well, let's go to care near me. Select a location. And as soon as you click that link, up comes shop.superscript.nyc/MedRite. Now you are on Shopify, but for healthcare provided by Superscript. You're immediately greeted with a modal. Do you want to connect your insurance? Yes, let's do that because we want a real price. So I'm going to do that right now. Alrighty then. And quick OTP, which I'm waiting for. And there it is. 918275. Now, if I had been a MedRite patient, we would retrieve the insurance information at this step. Because I'm not. Because I'm not a MedRite patient, I just put in my insurance style. So cool. Let's skip secondary. And now we're doing a real-time connection. And so for those of you that know Steady very well, we are pinging Steady in the background and Steady is going to return. There we go. Okay, cool. We found my plan, Aetna, active in network. There's my member ID, my state. I can add that secondary now if I wanted to. And now scrolling down, you can see we're calculating prices across the site and it's finished. So if I want an urgent care visit at MedRite, that would have been $225 self-pay on my plan. That's $150. Let's say I wanted a flu vaccine, $0 on my plan. Now I know. And so I can click book now. I can select the version I want, go to checkout, and then standard e-commerce grade checkout behavior. So let's just move that screen share. There we go. Enter, select the location. When do I want to come in? ASAP, and then the checkout screen. And so now when I, as a patient, hit that buy button and confirm the appointment, all of that information is immediately dropped to MedRite's EHR. Plus, MedRite gets their money before the appointment, so they don't have to worry about collections. And I, as the patient, got that real priced, transparent e-commerce experience. We currently provide this type of experience across the industry to practice groups of all kind. This is another good example. Soren Medical. These are interventional cardiologists in downtown Manhattan. They sell everything from the store on heart scan to cardiology consults, all the way through to a fibroid embolization. And if I connected my insurance, I could see the prices for that too and check out. But now, okay, what happens when the patient has no idea what they're going to purchase? Which is to say, what happens in the vast majority of healthcare journeys? Because what I just showed you is technology that powers the experience when the consumer knows what they're shopping for. Well, in most healthcare journeys, the patient is going to call to book for an appointment, or the patient is going to walk in, or the patient is going to get referred, or the physician is going to go to the scheduler in the office and say, hey, schedule patient John Smith for next week. He needs XYZ. In all of these cases, someone within the practice is doing the patient scheduling, and someone within the practice is therefore choosing the treatment for the patient. So how do we put a price on those encounters so that all of healthcare is transparent? And you, as the consumer, get your price every time, and the practice gets their money every time. Well, we give the front desk admin a web browser. This replaces Google Chrome in their workflow because, as I think we all know, the vast majority of EHRs are web native. They don't open in applications. So you start by signing into your account after opening up our app. And then up comes the browser. It looks a lot like Chrome, but it's not Chrome. You can see it says Superscript in the top right. And you're looking at the EHR login screen. So in this demo, it's Athena. The front desk admin will log into the EHR. And now they're in the EHR exactly the way they would be as if they were in Chrome. The only difference is there's a little widget that lives on the side of the screen. All right, let's say that you have now called to book at this practice. Hello, yes, I'd like an appointment next week, Tuesday. Cool. Admin goes into the Athena schedule, schedules it up for next Tuesday, and then immediately we read that instance of scheduling via our API connection and then text the patient a link. Patient clicks the link and it opens up to their price, firing off our pricing protocol, why their price is the price, so co-insurance, deductible, all of that explained. And then the patient can Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, etc. Now, when the patient does that, it's very cool for everyone involved because the entire system is automatic. Front desk did nothing new, practice did nothing new. Patient receives text message, saw price, click buy button, practice collects money. In the vast majority of cases, though, today, about 60 to 70% of cases, the patient is going to ignore the text message. So what happens when that text message is ignored? Well, this is the fun part. On the day of the appointment, the patient is going to walk in and go up to the front desk. The second the front desk goes to the check-in screen in Athena, the browser pops open, the widget says, hello, we see that you're looking at patient Nick Pfeffer. Nick hasn't paid yet. His price for today is $129.80. So while you're here, you can just one click, charge his card on file, and that transaction will be complete. Or you review his insurance information. Let's say Nick wants to use a different card, change the payment methodology, send to POS, Nick taps to pay, and then it's done. Nick just had a shopping experience at the medical practice that resembled buying a coffee from the coffee shop down the road that has a square kiosk. And of course, when we deploy this experience, practices get their money ahead of time in north of 85 to 90% of appointments. And so we typically see practices making on the order of 20 to 125% more patient revenue. Well, patients never get a surprise bill. All right, that's Superscript. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. Pleasure speaking to you all today.